to the voices in your head.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and whenever I want to listen to something profound and I'm having a moment, I go to GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and/or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Network Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak on these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit or modify or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission from GoPro Radio, LLC. GoPro Radio assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with our broadcast or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, smartphone, tablet, iPad, or future listening devices. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Hello, my name is Kathy Blanco. Every chance I get, I try to listen to the GoPro Radio Network at GoProRadio.com, the fastest growing network in the galaxy, especially on Saturday nights with the parties on at 9 p.m.
Potential. Everyone's got potential, right? But it will remain just that unless you act on it. You've got to do something new.
You got this.
To get somewhere new.
Let me see. Dad, have a look.
Is it scary?
Be fine.
Sure, but potential never fades. It simply waits for the day you use it. So go on, make that one day today.
Whether you're growing your business,
Okay, can we take our seats, please?
switching careers, or just starting out, it all starts with skills. Search Skills for Life.
My name is Terrell Martin. I'm a New York City union carpenter. A lot of people who were born here can't afford it. At my old job, like most regular non-union jobs, all of your benefits are coming out of your check. As a union carpenter, I get to keep what I make and my employer pays my benefits. If there's more union jobs in the city, there's more people getting paid to live where they work. Good jobs are essential to an affordable New York.
A word from the official sponsor of Black Empowerment, Power Tools. There's no telling when something's gonna come up, so make sure you carry your power tools at all times. You never know when you're gonna need to bring the hammer down, or when you'll have some trash that needs to be blown away, or some obstacle that requires cutting down. Don't get caught empty-handed. Keep your hammer close by. Keep that leaf blower at the ready. And always always carry your steel. Power tools. Because no matter what your day job or side hustle may be, there's no excuse for not being ready to put in some work.
African Americans have a unique history in this country. There's a legacy of brutal enslavement, economic exploitation, state-sanctioned violence, and deliberate attempts to divide an already fractured people. Bobby Seale said, "The best way to fight racism and oppression is with solidarity." Dr. Ron Christopher Osborne Williams and filmmaker Tylon U. Savior Washington has created a unique online experience where African Americans are not only welcomed, but preferred. A space where the only thing that matters is your blackness. Welcome to the Colored Only Café. With Dashawn Farad giving us our world news, Bro Pete, the Empress Lydia Percy, Sonny B. Sutherland Sr., and you, the black community. Welcome to the Colored Only Cafe, where the conversation is always hot, black, and strong.
Right. What an echo. Oh, it's always something. Welcome, family. Welcome, friends. Welcome, onlookers. Welcome to another edition of the Colored Only Cafe. The conversation is definitely going to be hot, black, and strong. Let me welcome everyone here in the house who's in the building, some of the regulars, some of the people who always come out and they support us and are here with us right now, and they join early. They even wake me up when I'm sleeping and tell me, hey, it's time for you to do your show. I really support you, and I thank you for that. I want to say hello. Oh, quite a few people are here in the room. That's beautiful. JT, the wolf, is in the house, making sure we're safe and secure here, doing a lot of back-end work there, JT. The wolf is in the house. Jamel Sutherland, that's the son of Sonny B. Sutherland. He's in the house. Welcome, welcome, Jamel. Always love how you support your dad, and all we have to do is look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's Super Black Man here in the house. We have the Sonny B. Sutherland Sr. in the house. He has a program tomorrow. Don't forget, he has the I Ain't Having It show, and then also the music, Sonny B. Sutherland mixtape, and that's every Friday, 9 o'clock to 12 midnight, nonstop music. I want to say hello to Sharon. She's in the house. We have Sexy Kitty Cat in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Sean, Brother Sean is here in the house, man. Good commentary last night, another program last night. There were a lot of really interesting and important things to say. Our sister from Uganda, who's here, who's been helping the GoPro Radio Network grow in terms of our numbers. And I really want to thank each and every one of you for liking and sharing and helping us to grow organically. You know, that's very, very important. We are doing some really good numbers. Real people, not bots, real people who are supporting the GoPro Radio Network. So I want to thank our international partnerships for that. And Nama, you are just doing a phenomenal job. Keep on doing what you're doing, sister. And Miss Jackie Black is in the house. We got Lydia Percy from Lydia's Lyrical Lounge. She is in the house. Kathleen Blanco is here. So good to see you, Kathleen. Good to see you. And my good friend Dreamcast McFly, filmmaker extraordinary. He is here in the house, along with our good brother Divine G. Whitfield is here. 3-time Oscar-nominated individual for the film Sing Sing, which was about his life story, and we're fighting with him. Brother, we're going to be fighting with you to make sure you get fully exonerated, and also we want you to get compensated for the dastardly deeds that these folks have done to you. So I love that you are here. We support you, brother. WKTV, making sure our international feed is up and running. And then I have to introduce my good brother and partner in this idea of bringing so many diverse voices in the Colored Only Cafe, my good brother, Dr. Ron Christopher Osborne Williams. Let me check in with him. How you doing, brother? Dr. Ron, are you there? Because he's
Hola, hola, que como les voy be support to our brothers and sisters and down with ice.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about? I know you heard about it, unless you've been living under a rock. But then again, you might not, because I know you're doing a lot of stuff in the community, in the streets about D'Angelo. We gonna talk about that because I don't know. I think we need to start connecting these dots. I don't think it's a coincidence that Angie Stone and then him and a lot of these people don't know are connected to these labels. And these labels, people think is just really nice and pretty and pink, man. These are some insidious people. That's some crazy. They actually work out and they think about, sometimes some people are worth more to them dead than alive. You better believe that. They put money over people all the time. And I know we're in denial because we think these companies are nice and they deliver really great music and all that. And then it's the same label with, what's her name? Whitney Houston, and it's just it's always these people who are disgruntled and angry with the labels and stuff like that, and all of a sudden something goes on. So I'm going to be looking into that a whole lot, but we have a lot to discuss. D'Angelo's here. We have this case also with Trey Reed. We got our good sister Krystal is in the house. Let me see. Yeah, she's here. How you doing, Krystal? She's in the house, and she's joining us to give other people all the updates on what's going on yet another horrendous case. While a lot of times, we get distracted so easy, with all the different shenanigans that go on. And it's always good to have people like Deshaun Farad. Is Deshaun here yet? He'll probably pop in, making sure that we get all the stories that are important to us that get often overlooked by all the other, I call it distractions, deflections, and so forth. And so he introduced us and me to this wonderful sister here who has been doing some incredible work. And she's here to really give us an update on the story about Trey Reed. You heard about Trey Reed, Dr. Ron? The story, it's about the young brother there that was lynched. And let me read this really good press release that went out about Trey Reed. This is going to be a National Day of Justice. And this is why Krystal is here. That says there's no doubt that racism exists. We know that many shades yet again, similar to the death of Trey Reed. It is blatantly and unmistakably connected to the ways the former slave masters and still masters, I always say we still slaves, showed their power and corruption lynching on September 15th, 2025 around 7 a.m. A black male, 21-year-old, Demontre Trey, they call him Reed, was found hanging from a tree by a facility member near the pickleball court at Delta State University, a public university in Cleveland, Mississippi. Sister, thank you, first of all, for joining us. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Colored Only Cafe, where the conversation is always hot, black, and strong. I want you to tell us a little bit about what's going on, but also just introduce yourself briefly to the panel.
Yes, well, thank you, Brother Tylen. Is that correct?
Yes, you got it.
Yes, thank you, Brother Tylen, and to your whole squad that's here on the cafe, as well as all of the listeners. Yes, well, I am the national chair of the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Sister Krystal Muhammad. And I became the chair in 2013, to give you guys a little backdrop. And we were working in the southern region where I live. I'm from New Orleans, but I live in Houston. And we've been working, dealing with different cases of injustice and empowerment building. And we have been, unfortunately, dealing with a series of lynchings in Mississippi since 2015. And unfortunately, this Trey Reed case is the latest. And to give you guys a backdrop, and it's very important, and I'm going to tie it all in. In 2015, we were working with the community in a town about 20 minutes outside of Jackson called Port Gibson. We were down on Baba Hannibal at Freaks, what he called a village, an African village, doing some what he called an independent nation building. He had some land and they're developing out there. And then shortly after we did a training down there, we were called back because a man was lynched by the name of Otis Bird Jr. in 2015. Otis Bird Jr. was hung, lynched in the backyard of the family that he had already did 26 years in prison for allegedly killing their daughter. And he had maintained his innocence, did 26 years in prison, got a job, had a house, doing well. Well, these people snatched him out of his house, hung him in their backyard, 15 feet in the air, with a bag on his head and his hands tied behind his back. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, the local police, and the local sheriff immediately declared this a suicide. We have the pictures. I'll be happy to send you the pictures where you can see him 15 feet in the air in their backyard. So we were pushing for justice for that. Nothing has ever occurred. No justice. No one's ever been held accountable, but we did do the exposure. A couple of years later, in 2017, in Jackson, Mississippi, the capital of Mississippi, not far from Jackson State University, we were called down in regards to a young man by the name of Philip Carroll, who got into it with his white girlfriend. Now, they lived in a duplex, so the neighbors in the house directly next door heard them fighting, saw the white girl leave, and then later that night, they heard a noise, and Philip Carroll was hanging in the backyard. So we went out and we pushed the investigation. Of course, unfortunately, the local police immediately declared that a suicide. In 2018, we were called back to Mississippi, this time to Forest, Mississippi, when a young man by the name of Willie Jones Jr. got into it with his white baby mama. She came and picked him up from the house, took him from his family house to her family house, where they beat this young man and hung him in their front yard. His mama came down there. The police were out there. They immediately declared it a suicide. I'm talking about immediately on the scene is what these pigs are doing. Fast forward, we pushed. That family did receive a settlement maybe like a year or so ago for maybe $22 million, but no one has been held accountable. No one's been brought to charges. They got a settlement. Nothing's been done about it. Again, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the Department of Justice are aware of all of these cases. So we got someone hung in the backyard, front yard, backyard. Two backyards, front yard. Now here it is. In 2025, this young man, Trey Reed, a 21-year-old student who only been enrolled 1 month at Delta State University, it was reported that the night before his lynching, he had got into a verbal altercation via social media with some white boys for him defending a black girl, a young sister, on a social media deal about Charlie Kirk. When this is on the heels of the Charlie Kirk mass murder. So next thing you know, Trey Reed turned in his homework that night, was heading over to the dorm, the girls' dorm to see his girlfriend, never was seen again. At 5 a.m. the next morning, cafeteria workers saw him hanging from a tree, the pickleball court. Students came out, all kind of people came out. Around 7 a.m., he was hanging up there as of 7 in the morning. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., people were able to see him hanging from this tree. The problem is, at the time, and even to today, Delta State University is sitting in what is known as a sundown town. That city of Cleveland, Mississippi, where Delta State University resides, was forced in 2017. Y'all hear me? In 2017, the high school was forced to integrate. It is very much a very racially charged environment. Even though that town is majority black, it's still considered a sundown town in the historical perspective of that area, although people have made strides or whatever. But Trey was hung in the middle of the schoolyard on a Monday morning for everyone to see. This young man, we knew it was foul play when we heard about it because, again, we had a history of dealing with lynchings in Mississippi that had not been uncovered. Now, the difference between 2015 up until 2025 that allowed this case to get the attention that it needed was social media, independent podcasts. That was not prevalent at the time when we were exposing those other cases. Now, Trey, we went out there, we talked to the people at this time. Even today on Delta State University, that campus, a university and a predominantly white university, is segregated. Trey was on the side that they called the white side, is where he was found. They have a black side and a white side to today at this college. And this young man was hung from a tree that was basically, he was propped up there because the tree, the way that tree and all of those trees in that pickleball court or aged and size, the tree is not a lynchable type tree. It's so terrible that we have to use this type of a description. Look, this man was hoisted. We have the pictures. He was hoisted with a belt after he was already dead. We have evidence doing independent investigation that he was taken from that university and brought back. And we had done that before the independent autopsy came back. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of suspects, but the university didn't even bother to do an investigation. Just like those other cases, they immediately said suicide. And guess how sloppy they are and how racist they are and how arrogantly that they're so used to nobody doing an investigation. The police of Bolivar County, which is the county where Cleveland, Mississippi located it at, the sheriff went to Trey Reed's family's house the morning of his lynching at 9 a.m., although he had just been taken out the tree, and told them that Trey had committed suicide in his dorm room. They were so sloppy. The family called because that was the sheriff. They was like, well, how could this be? And they were told to call the local police. They called the local police. The local police in Cleveland said he died in the dorm room. Well, the people had taken pictures at this point. It was too many witnesses. And do you know they didn't even stop classes that day? People, they went on business as usual. Now, another thing, I call it coincidence. Who knows? It's all messed up. This year is the 100-year anniversary of Delta State University. They were doing centennial celebrations while a young black man is hanging from the middle of a college campus. And nothing's been done about it. We have used our own resources to go down to Mississippi. Several other people, NAACP representatives out there went out. His mom went out and started doing her own investigation. His mother had to go out. There are witnesses that say when Trey left, they thought it was usual that he didn't come back. They went looking for him, his roommates and other people, because he was not at this pickleball court for hours when they went looking for him. So that means he was taken somewhere, and then they brought him back and hung him up like that. And when this story broke, black people across the planet, America, Ray Charles is dead and blind and knew that this man did not hang himself. So it so happens that Colin Kaepernick, former NBA player, has a foundation, and he paid for the family and the legal team to have a second autopsy done.
Good.
Well, it just so happens the second autopsy preliminary report came out. Now, the official report is there's expected to come out at any day, but he had a preliminary meeting. The independent examiner who did it from a totally different state did a preliminary meeting with the family members and told them that Trey died from, he had blunt force trauma to the back of his head. He had bruising all up and down his back and buttocks, the side of his face. He had been choked, asphyxiation, as if he'd been choked from behind, not self-inflicted. His leg was sprung. And the reason why there was a report saying that his legs were broke is because students saw it and took pictures. And we have the picture, but his family has been asking people not to show it. And at some point, who knows when they will give us the permission. But this young man, all evidence proves that he did not kill himself. Not only does evidence prove that he did not kill himself, evidence proves that he was hung up there as a sign, as a ritual, as an act of terror by these no-good racists who have been able to operate and move around without impunity, with no repercussion in Mississippi that we know of for at least a decade. This has been going on, and no one's held accountable. It's been this wicked way of keeping terror on to the people, to the black majority in Mississippi, which is, yes, a black majority state. But when you have a black majority state, but you got coconuts in office, Brother Tyrone, and I know you want to ask me a question, so I'm gonna pause right there. But the coconuts are the black people who are in place. They black on the outside and white in the middle, and allow these wicked things to take place, and they come in as cover.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I definitely have a lot of questions with this case. And one of the things I also want to talk about is, like, why do we keep going to these agencies when we know that they're part of the cover-up? They're part of the same white supremacist system. And what are we to do? When we know that our people are being murdered, lynched, shot in the back, beat up, beat down, and we go in these places where it's supposed to be some kind of or some form or representation of justice. All right, so we're here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm grateful to have Krystal Muhammad here. She is the, am I correct by saying it's the official spokesperson for the family here, giving us an update on the Trey Reed case, and we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Potential. Everyone's got potential, right? But it will remain just that unless you act on it. You've got to do something new.
You got this.
To get somewhere new.
Let me see. Dad, have a look.
Is it scary?
Be fine.
Sure. But potential never fades. It simply waits for the day you use it. So go on, make that one day today.
Whether you're growing your business,
Okay, can we take our seats, please?
switching careers, or just starting out, it all starts with skills. Search Skills for Life.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Network Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak on these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit or modify or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission from GoPro Radio, LLC. GoPro Radio assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with our broadcasts or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, smartphone, tablet, iPad, or future listening devices. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
African Americans have a unique history in this country. There's a legacy of brutal enslavement, economic exploitation, state-sanctioned violence, and deliberate attempts to divide an already fractured people. Bobby Seale said, "The best way to fight racism and oppression is with solidarity." Dr. Ron Christopher Osborne Williams and filmmaker Tylon U. Savior Washington has created a unique online experience where African Americans are not only welcome, but preferred. A space where the only thing that matters is your blackness. Welcome to the Colored Only Cafe. With Dashawn Farad giving us our world news, Bro Pete, the Empress Lydia Percy, Sonny B. Sutherland Sr., and you, the black community. Welcome to the Colored Only Cafe, where the conversation is always hot, black, and strong.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Colored Only Cafe. Some really tough things to hear, but I think it's important, especially for our audience, our international audience, to understand, because a lot of people, we're so removed from certain realities, meaning that, people think about our experiences either being, boys in the hood, or, we live in the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And people don't understand that we're still living under this new form of Jim Crow. And where, these are just the cases that we know. How many, when she's talking about these cases, and by the way, I'm talking about Krystal Muhammad, who is the family representative, and she's the new Black Panther Party's national chairwoman. She's telling us about the cases that she has followed. I'm thinking about cases that we probably don't even know about. Right, because if this is going on, right, this is probably perhaps a microcosm of other people, like nameless people who may be, who vulnerable, homeless, or incarcerated, or recently released. Somebody who's on the road and they decide to, lynch someone and say, oh no, it's not a lynching. They just committed suicide. In this pattern, this behavior, where she said they're so sloppy now, they don't even bother to kind of do a real cover up. They just say whatever goes out there and see what sticks. And if it wasn't for Colin Kaepernick or other folks stepping up or stepping in, or the black social media, which is very, very important. And this is what I'm telling everyone. You have a voice, and you have to use that voice. You have to use your platform in any way possible to speak truth to power. And so I'm really grateful that you're here. But also, if you have any questions and comments, and I know we're going to get to the chat. I know there's a couple of comments in the chat, and if you have questions, you can also put it in the chat, but you can ask it when you're in this room. And so we ask people who are watching us on Facebook, folks who are watching us on Facebook, if you want and you have a question, we made it super fast and easy for you to join the conversation here. This is our town hall meeting that we do every Wednesday, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. All you have to do is go to goproradio.com and then click on that join live button, and it'll bring you right in the room, and you can engage us with your questions, comments, and concerns.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that sister. It's funny that We have a sister on here tonight because last night here in Philadelphia, the Black Panther Party had a declared October 14th George Floyd Day. They had a march at 33rd and Cecil B. Moore. If you know anything about Mr. Cecil B. Moore, he's one of the premier activists who was one of the primary activists in Philadelphia. That they had that last night. A nice turnout. But what I realized is me and some people, we were looking at like all the things you have to do anything, right? So there was 20 police in front of them, 20 police behind them. And what that means is that they had to get a permit or whatever to have their program, right? And what that ends up being is that at any point, it just goes to the point that you have to do everything by a certain book or standard, not to put yourself in jeopardy or in threat. And sometimes they can come up with a reason why not to or what have you. And I seen the chairman here, at some of the showing a very strong presence, seen him in the city hall, city council meetings, and he has a real big, and I think the sister was saying this, and this is true, a very strong influence through social media. And social media obviously and will be the way to get the message to the masses and to the people. The only reason I really knew about it was because somehow it came in my algorithm, and I'm now seeing his messages and the kind of things that they're trying to do here in this area, in this mid-Atlantic area. So I'd say power to the sister. Keep up the fight, and I think that it takes us to be fighting from all fronts to really, really, attain and get some heading, because I was talking last night, and I think this was most important on my show, Fatherhood Think Tank. And the conclusion of that show, we kind of said that the most important thing for us as a people is to remember that we are the people, right? No matter what our feelings, no matter what our denomination, no matter what our vocal points is, no matter what it is, as long as we remember that we're not coconuts, and I love that term, that we're not coconuts, that you remember that we are all common, and that inside of us is blackness, no matter what's on the outside, right? No matter what's on the outside and how we affiliate or associate, that if black is inside of us, we have that one thing in common. We should continue to work together for that without any problems. But and you usually can see that when it's about blackness. When it's about some of these European-centric things, we fall right into the separation of their causes. So I say, keep up the strong fight. I know that it's not simple, and the work is maybe not even rewarding to even who you're doing work for. But I definitely want to say, keep the fight, keep the fight, keep the fight.
Yeah, we we have no choice. I think sometimes there's this illusion. We have this idea that it's something somewhere else outside of us. Just like you're saying, we are all George Floyd, we are all Trey Reed. I mean, we are interconnected, and I think when people distance themselves and feel like they're not connected, and they have a lot of this what do you call position. They don't have any real power, but they utilize their position, as buffer classes to deny, justice, or to help the system of white supremacy. I think perpetuate the kind of grotesque, murders and activities that go on a lot of times, like I said, unnoticed. As she's telling us these stories, I'm thinking, I'm like, the way that they carry on, they do this probably all the time.
Yes, unfortunately. Quite unfortunate. And Brother Ron, I'm glad you mentioned about demonstrations, because this Saturday, on the 18th, Saturday the 18th, we will be having a demonstration for justice for Trey Reed at Delta State University. Now, there was a memorial that was held at the college shortly after his death. And then there was also a candlelight vigil that was held in his hometown, which is about an hour away after his death. But there has been no protest. There has been no united voice of saying, no, we're not going for this until we've called this demonstration. Now, of course, his mom and family wanted to lay him to rest, which that took place about 2 weeks ago. And they wanted to get hear the reports, and that's been done. And so now there is a demonstration. And no, we're not getting a permit, because you don't need a permit to stand up and speak for justice. Now, there's the terminology and the wordplay that people use about trying to do stuff with, I guess, by the way the people say do, but how are you protesting if you're asking for permission? We have the human right to speak up when there's an injustice, and no one needs to give us permission to do that. And over the years, we've had different people who have different organizing styles, different models. That's on them. But in my years in the new Black Panther Party and as a freedom fighter, I've never, ever, and we have never, in the new Black Panther Party under this formation, pulled a permit. However, we have been involved in demonstrations where other people have, and we stand in solidarity whatever the people decide. Because as you said, we are the people too. But we also have to show the people a way of standing and resisting. It takes me back to Ferguson after Mike Brown was murdered. That's the first time I ever seen people with their hands up in the air talking about hands up, don't shoot. And we were immediately like, put your damn fists up, put your hands down. That's a symbol and sign of surrender. So there are things that are going on in our movement that diffuse or other people who come in who may not have our best interests that'll try to rechannel the energy. And we have to be very careful of that. The terminologies that we use, our tactics are going to vary. But so long as folks are in the battle, that's what's important. So long as people step up and speak out, that's very important. And I know sometimes we can be critical of one another. Some people say, oh, you ain't nothing but a Facebook revolutionary. Well, be a Facebook revolutionary if that's all that you got the heart to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to be on the front line and you don't mind putting your boots on the ground, then get on the ground. Because you asked the question before we went into the break, Brother Tylen, why do we keep calling on these systems? Well, first, is two things to that. We do need to stand up and have our own Black nation and declare that we want our own Black nation. And we do things self-determined, which is what we did as freedom fighters. We didn't just listen to what the pig said. We've always hit the ground, done our investigation. But and we call for reparations. We call for separation, having our own Black nation. But getting the brothers and sisters to even fathom such a thought is work in and of itself when folks are so indoctrinated. And at the same time, every time we spend $1, these crackers take a 8 cents or 10 cents of it. So they still are going to be held accountable. They're not getting away with what they're doing. If you're using people, so we're not going to let them hold an institution that's supposed to be doing something and not doing it, because they're culpable and part of the cover-up, and we're calling that out too. We are exposing the contradictions, because it is indeed, whether people want to accept it or not. People say this terminology, you folks are trying to start a race war. Are y'all tripping? The race war has never stopped. We have just been losing. We have been losing like a mug, and too many people have given up. This is how come I found out today. I was on another interview this morning. Mississippi, after people started fighting to get that Confederate flag taken out their state logo by using a form of political pushback by referendum, the state of Mississippi disbanded the referendum process, the recall process to get rid of officers. I'm like, then how did y'all let that happen? Because we're so politically not active. I know, and I'm saying, Brother Tylen,
Well, I think a
we
lot
need
of
to
us
have
aren't politically active, sister, because the disenfranchisement is so. We've been told for so long that if we have just this black representative, this that, and white folks point to the fact, oh look, you got Obama. I don't know if the power is with politics or working within their system, the system that was never designed to empower us. The idea that I like is like the separation and like, look, we can have our own a nation, our own land of self-determination, because just like we can carry caskets, they can carry some caskets too. I mean, everybody can bleed, everybody can die, everybody can do whatever they can do. And I think all of this going to the enemy and asking for justice, I don't know, it feels like weak as water. It feels like it's years and years and years. To me, it's the definition of insanity, doing something and expecting a different result when you know that the system inherently wasn't designed to help you. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And nobody asked these people to do anything. They run out there and do it and declare it. Nobody called the Mississippi police on any of these cases. They come out immediately to do the cover up. These are race warriors. These are this is a war. These are enemy combatants. The police are local guard, and they come out to intimidate and bully the masses. And the majority of our people don't know this. All they know is go to work, go to school, go to church. Watch basketball, watch football, watch baseball, watch millionaires throw balls, bounce balls, and hit balls. Millionaires throw balls, bounce balls, and hit balls. And then we turn over our children to them. And our children are turned over to them 80% of the time in these food systems. And I said food systems that indoctrinate them into black inferiority complex. While we out there picking cotton on their jobs, on picking cotton, I don't care if it's a keyboard or something when you're working for them.
Right.
And this is what we've been born into. But there are those who know different, but far and few in between, and we have to show. And in warfare, sometimes you do have to use guerrilla warfare, where you use the things of the enemy. Nothing is off the table. Right. To be quite honest with you, nothing is off the table. But we do need our ultimate, and our objective is a black nation, separation, self-determination. Now, bringing other people to see that is our task. Bringing other people to understand it is our task. Exposing the contradictions. Expose and see, y'all told us for 50, 40 years to integrate and assimilate, and we have not progressed one iota. Exposing that. And showing and telling the people, let's try this other way. Let's have our own independent separation. Now, how many other people are going to be divorced to do that? Because what I find is, although we're not going to hate on you for keyboarding, but that's the default that most people do. They don't want to put their black selves out and speak. They say, Black Panthers, they did this. What y'all going to do? Y'all going to do. This is the majority of what we hear. What are y'all going to do? But aren't you telling us about it? What are you going to do? What are we going to do, black people? Because everybody can have a role in this. And once we get that understanding, what part are you going to do? What are the doctors going to do? Because, we got medical apartheid going on. What are the farmers going to do? Because, they're killing us with this food. What are the black street cats going to do? Stop fighting each other. Let's stand and defend our communities. Everybody got a part in it. But will everybody step up to the plate? And this is what's taking place. And I believe in black people. I remember, I'm going to say this. I remember when I first got into the party in 2002, 2003, and we would be out there talking about demonstrating against police brutality in Houston. And I can remember, in 2020. We used to be the first ones out there. And then I looked up for George Floyd. The people was out there for we can get out there. Is something happening? And it's just like with Mike Brown. The people was out there, but it was the misdirection. Is something happening? People are tired of it, but we have to have more voices, more people involved. We need more people to stop being scary. That's the root of the problem. The cowardice.
That's right. More voices make our society better. We got some hands up, and I know we got some questions. I'm going to get to the comments, but let's go to the hand. Bigfoot, you're up. Are you there, Bigfoot? Your hand is up, or was that a mistake? You can unmute yourself.
I'm unmuting. Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hey, what's up, Bigfoot? Long time no see.
Hey, man, you know, I only come with this good gospel to put down, and then I saw who you had on the microphone. I said, yeah, I need to tiptoe up in here.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a couple things I got to say to you, young lady. As I was listening to your inspirational words and your speech, I just want to say that you so eloquently said cracker on the show, and it made me smile, because I really know that you for the cause. Anytime I see a black person that's scared to say the word cracker when it's just black people, or they start stuttering and a speech impediment come out, I know we got a problem. He might need to put a pistol on his hip to make sure he don't turn us in. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. We need to make a website to identify everybody that's scared to say the word cracker, but willingly say the racial slur with the hard ER. You know what I'm saying? So to your stuff about building your the nation, right? The reason why the United States of America is so successful is because they take the kids of immigrants and citizens and they indoctrinate them in the bullshit and the propaganda of telling you to pledge your allegiance and then take the flag and to hang your baby with it. And America the beautiful. You follow what I'm saying?
That's right.
So unfortunately, self-hate and the system is so fucked up. Umar Johnson just can't get right. You know what I'm saying? He the pappy. You know what I'm saying? But his endeavor and what the Black Panther Party is trying to do for the youth is necessary. But you know, one thing I did is I found all the black people that I follow for, like, and I don't say follow as in like they my revolutionary guide or nothing, but I follow. And if I saw they took the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, I knew they was full of shit, right? So because that's fear indoctrination, and how you say you for the movement and don't trust Shay Whitey, but then you took their poison because they told you it's gonna save your life. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that needs to be done is y'all got to find out who the New Age Uncle Tom's is. And I'm not saying New Age Uncle Tom's because I know it was Sambo, but because people don't read, they think that the Uncle Tom is the person, but really it was Sambo that was fucking us up. And because we can't actually identify the problem because we're so fucked up, we willingly send our kids to the public school system to get indoctrinated to where we can't build a nation. We just send our offspring off to further fuel the nation that's crippling our motherfucking ass. So until black people understand the process and procedure for what Umar Johnson was trying to do, and I'm not saying it has to be Umar Johnson, but if you rightfully so come out and say you finna do something like Umar Johnson, they gonna constantly keep a foot in your ass and fuck up your situations. Like, black people still haven't apologized because he actually has the fucking credentials. But like you said, them social media warriors will continue to say, well, what you doing, Black Panthers, or what you doing, Umar Johnson, and they ain't got a foot or toe. They ain't even sending no donation in to help out the situation because they're comfortable in their fucking Teslas and they gated communities, in their HOA meetings, and feeling like they got some type of cracker power over somebody and to be inferior. Also, to give you a pro tip, if you type soup cracker on social media, you won't get flagged. So that's a way you can secretly say cracker on social media without them taking your account. But I wish you
got to put the soup in front of it, huh?
got to put soup in front of cracker, and they won't flag you. But I wish you much success in your endeavors of trying to keep the revolution going. Unfortunately, it's too much money in the revolution now to where people that's rightfully trying to do something, they get ostracized and their voice becomes smaller because they put the people that are paid to come out there and do the revolutionary shit to steer the narrative so they don't have a target situation. Uh, they brainwashing us. You know what I'm saying? They
Well,
white as notebook paper.
well, what they're
So
doing. Listen, it's good that you say that, my good brother. And there's a couple things because you said one thing. You said Tesla, HOAs. That's just another form of slavery, right?
correct.
And we pretend like it's not. Like it's like you can't ever. I'm listening to a lot of divestors, a lot of African. Um, uh, I'm into a lot of African politics right now. The things that's going on in Africa
Yeah, ain't it
is
beautiful over
is
there?
fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking. I'm also I moved my membership to the Nigerian chapter, so I'm not in the American chapter anymore.
Dabo.
I'm in the Nigerian chapter now. But I'm saying, brother, I'm saying this to you to say this. One of the things that they have noticed and expressed to us is that the reason why we can't ever see past anything else is because they gave us all these other things that's going to tie us down. They say, "Oh, you should live in this neighborhood." Then the HOA billing you. You can't ever get the money to do anything with because they're telling you that we're going to give you money only to tie that money up to always be trapped, right? And it's not until you do what you doing, and a lot of revolutionaries are doing, is just cutting ties with everything. Listen, going to segregating yourself, right?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
reason why a lot of time we don't do it, right, is because that's going on in Jacksonville, Florida, with the sheriff. So the sheriff, black guy, TK Waters, he already listen. The police department there is completely out of control. Matter of fact, the police department is almost like how America was when Obama was the president, right? So because you had this black sheriff.
Wait. Hold on. Let me step in right quick. Cause see, you're talking about an anomaly, okay? So
No, no, no,
let's
no, no,
get
no, no,
wait, hold on. Let me step in because I gotta give context here to the rest of the African Americans, because you know it ain't nothing but 43 million of us in 7 different cities. So let me break down Jacksonville, Florida, right quick, okay? Jacksonville, Florida is still an active plantation, okay? It is the logistical capital of the world, okay? It is the biggest city land-wise in the United States of America. Every $1 million to $1 billion company has a warehouse or a facility in Jacksonville, Florida, because they utilize the melanated population that are brainwashed and can't never get out to bang them as 90-day employees. So they really have no benefits, no rights, no nothing. If they don't show up, they just get rid of 90 days. They go to another warehouse and they constantly are in the cycle of that. So what the good old boys, because Callahan is on top and then there's another place below, St. Augustine, but all that is the major hubs for the Ku Klux Klan. And then they have Flagler, who told people that the best thing you do with a black body is put him up underneath the railroad tracks to support the rail, so his soup cracker daughter could get down to Miami and see butterflies and birds. So what they do in the good old boy network is they find the most successful black person in whatever industry, they put them as the president of that, and then they don't fund them or they strip them of their power, but they still got this they got this black person up there stopping progress. So Jacksonville is a kangaroo court. It's the funny house at the fair. It's a parlor trick the way you think black people are controlled. But Massa got their hand up they behind buck breaking. Now continue with your story about
And I think that I'm glad that you gave that little historical part of James, so people can look at this in a very bigger lens, right? That this is one of the things that is happening to us as a people, right? Because we like to feel comfortable, right? And the comfortableness that we begin to feel is that, oh, there is people who look like us in power, right? As those people who we think they're in power have sometimes our best interest in mind, and really they don't.
Nope.
Because if they had our best interest in mind, there's no way when the boy got the window bashed in and the police officer punched him in the face, that police officer would have been fired, and now you wouldn't have this incident now with a lady picking up her daughter from school and the police officer beat her up. Well, I'm not gonna say beat her up, slammed her to the ground, choked her out, all kinds of things.
Like a man.
Like she was like he squared up with her like she was a man. And you would say this the police, right? So you and only reason he feels emboldened to do that because he knows nothing's gonna happen because TK ain't gonna do anything because TK is again in the pocket a masser. Like he a masser.
Well, let me
Hold that thought. We gotta take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna come right back to you, Bigfoot. So hold on to that thought. We'll be right back, folks.
Potential. Everyone's got potential, right? But it will remain just that unless you act on it. You've got to do something new.
You got this.
To get somewhere new.
Let me see. Dr. Fruit, have a look.
Is it scary?
Be fine.
Sure. But potential never fades. It simply waits for the day you use it. So go on, make that one day today.
Whether you're growing your business,
Okay, can we take our seats, please?
switching careers, or just starting out, it all starts with skills. Search Skills for Life.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and/or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Network Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak on these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit or modify or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission from GoPro Radio, LLC. GoPro Radio assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with our broadcast or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, smartphone, tablet, iPad, or future listening devices. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
African Americans have a unique history in this country. There's a legacy of brutal enslavement, economic exploitation, state-sanctioned violence, and deliberate attempts to divide an already fractured people. Bobby Seale said, "The best way to fight racism and oppression is with solidarity." Dr. Ron Christopher Osborne Williams and filmmaker Tylon U. Savior Washington has created a unique online experience where African Americans are not only welcome, but preferred. A space where the only thing that matters is your blackness. Welcome to the Colored Only Café. with Dashawn Farad giving us our world news, the Bro Pete, the Empress Lydia Percy, Sonny B. Sutherland Sr., and you, the black community. Welcome to the Colored Only Cafe, where the conversation is always hot, black, and strong.
Okay, folks, we are back. We are black. And this is the Colored Only Cafe. Folks, we are honored by the presence of Sister Krystal Muhammad. She is the family representative and new Black Panther Party national chairwoman. All right. And I want to remind folks, I'm going to post this in the chat. I'm going to also post this on social media that on October 18th, okay, the family and friends of Reed are hosting a Stand Up for Trey Reed demonstration at Delta State University, demanding answers and justice. So I know before we went to break, a Bigfoot was there, and then we're going to open up the panels for questions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns to Krystal while she was here. Thank you so much. And by the way, also Krystal, you have an open invitation whenever you want to come in. There's some updates. We do this every Wednesday. This is like a town hall meeting. It's open mic. People can come in and talk, and we have such a diverse community here. You are always invited, okay? Just know that the answer is yes. Come on by. We will make time for you to update us on what's going on. And we
thank you, Black Power, for that, brother.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Bigfoot, you were saying something, and Wait, you want to wrap?
And I'd like to chime in to what Bigfoot said, if you don't mind, to tie this in.
Come on with it, young. Come on. I'm a peon compared to you. Go ahead, young lady.
If y'all heard me start off and say what you just said about Jacksonville, Florida. See, this strategy of buffer zone Negroes is being used across America, KKK, because when I started off this show, I said Cleveland, Mississippi is majority black. The population is majority black, yet it's a sundown town. How could that be? How could it be a majority black, but a sundown town at the same time? Because they have these buffer zone Negroes. You look at the sheriff, the police chief that they trotted out, a black man, coconut. The medical examiner, black man, coconut. See, these crackers had a system of socio-economic, psychological warfare that they started during the days of chattel slavery. House nigga, yard nigga, field nigga. House nigga, that's a mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So these house Negroes mentality is to be the overseer gatekeeper, similar to where we have neo-colonialism on the continent, where the European cannot be in place, but those that look like us are in front, and they're doing the works of the oppressor. And this is the same thing going on city to city, state to state. I guarantee, I'm almost certain it could be the same thing going on in Philly, same thing going on in New Orleans, same thing going on in Houston, Jacksonville. This is a modus operandi where we got states and cities and towns with a black majority, but we sitting there and politically so immature that we vote people to get a job, and their positions, once they get their position, they don't care about our best interest. And we have to change everything. There's time for a paradigm shift, and things are shifting. But yeah, you're right on it. I can tie that in. That's why I'm so glad the brother said that. But the only thing that's going to disrupt what's going on will be the power of the people. Will be showing the courage. See, a lot of our people, most people don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, hell, I can't tell you what to do. We're on the battlefield figuring it out. We know we got a blueprint for Black Power. We got all these things that's been laid out, but we need the people. And in studying revolution, for some reason, what we have not paid attention to, nations that have won their freedom, guess what? It's never been the masses. It's been the few who had the right direction for the masses that toppled oppression. the top of the overseeing nations and governments or whoever powers that be. And this is what's taking place. And more has to happen. The masses, have you ever heard? Let's be distinct. Have we ever heard of any time in history where everybody say, all right, we finna go fight for freedom? It doesn't work like that. It has to be those freedom fighters that moving out in the best interest. It wasn't all the white crackers that came up with this system of white supremacy, but it was a few that came up with it and putting it in place. And we have to be those ones, and we are the ones that are gonna be in order shift changes.
Let's go to Bro Pete. Let's go to Bro Pete, and then after Bro Pete, Bigfoot. Bro Pete, you there?
Yeah, I had to get unmuted, brother.
Okay.
All power to the people. Sister Krystal, it's a pleasure you being on here. We have crossed paths before. I don't think you remember me. There's something you said that I've been saying and over and over and over and over again. I've talked about these sundown towns. This sundown town situation, I say get busloads of black people to come and camp out overnight. Just camp out. You know, I've said it before, and people on this panel let you know that I'm a stickler about it. You know, I'm going to be straight. Welcome to Jim Crow 2.0 with a little bit of apartheid sprinkled on top. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. The sisters just call everybody to arms. Yeah. You know, wow. Sister, you right. I give you that. You got your soldiers, but you also have those that refuse. You can't win a revolution with a slingshot. That's basically it. The sister's on point. You know, when are we going to stand up and stand behind each other, get with each other?
All right, that's Bro P, one of our elders, also a member of the original Black Panther Party, right? And I really appreciate your feedback. Bigfoot, let's go back to you.
Black power, brother P, free the land.
All right. Young lady, you said it's house nigga, field nigga, and what's the other nigga?
Yard
nigga, right? So now I'm gonna talk about that while I was addressing the stuff in the past, right? The biggest hit that we took was losing Dorothy Height, right? If y'all go look up Dorothy Height used to be the head of something called the council. I think it was the council of
Negro women.
No. She was over that, but it was another council of like presidents, and all of the heads of every black organization used to come meet at her house, right? And when she died, that organization got bust up. You got to go to Howard University, and the minutes of all those meetings are sitting there in the Howard Library, and nobody even knows this shit exists, right? So after she left this earth, that's when the Congressional Black Caucus, or actually when she got older, the Congressional Black Caucus went to shit. So what the melanated race of the Americas has right now is they still have their version of the yard or the foot soldiers, like the muscle of the black race here, right? And y'all, the Black Panther Party is more of the intelligent muscle. You get what I'm saying? And then you had the spooks that sat by the door that was intertwined with them, y'all calling them coconuts here. We got a different word down here. I can't say it on the internet because then people will be able to find it. But the coconuts are the house Negroes. But we had spooks that sat by the door intertwined in that would have meetings with the Congressional Black Caucus and other entities that were behind closed doors. And the next problem that we got, unfortunately, Tylon, one of your commercials was talking about skills for life, right? Black people have lost touch with reality. Okay, and when I say black people have lost touch with reality, it's on all levels. Some black people think that no matter no matter the color of their skin, if they get enough degrees and get enough certificates, that the white people are going to treat them like one of them, right? Now, there's also and I hate to say lower level because they ain't lower level, they're the most important crew we got. But the disenfranchised or the so-called thug or gangster, his mission statement has been lost in the sauce, and then the coconuts have actually sat there and told this man that one day he could be the president of the United States, right? And that's not possible. In mostly every other melanated community, they have something called the caste system, and the undesirables cannot move up in the caste system. Their job is their job. Their role is their role. You get what I'm saying? Unfortunately, there's two people laid down and made another person that's a foot soldier go get her. You follow what I'm saying? A gorilla killer. And because they're on social media and TikTok and thinking one day they finna be a rapper like Snoop Dogg, a drill rapper, pushing poison, talking about killing serial killer music. What's that man called? Cleo Monongo says that we have a trauma trance that we're in. We don't have anybody to go get it because we're spread out too thin because of integration. Now, if the young lady in Jacksonville that got pushed and shoved like that, one of them guerrilla go-getters would have went on ahead and did what he's supposed to do. And then all the police officers would have been on the edge of the city and they would have sent a coconut in to negotiate and talk. And then somebody would have came in there and Al Sharpton some shit. But the system is so fucked up because of the brainwashing and the integration that it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
You know something. I continue to say this, and I keep it 100%. And I think Sister Krystal said this a little while ago about the balls, but football, the baseball, the basketball. If you imagine if in my field we have a thing that we ask people called the miracle question. The miracle question, normally in therapeutic process, we ask them the miracle question. And the question said, if you could wake up tomorrow and everything would be the way you want it to be, what would that look like? And I'm presenting this to you just to think about this, is that if we could wake up tomorrow and the black man and woman and family would rally behind blackness like they do professional football, baseball, basketball, entertainment, entertainers. If they rallied around blackness, okay, let's move entertainment, just the sports, around any sports. If they rallied around blackness, the way they rally around these sports teams, we wouldn't have to worry about having a revolution because we would be taking over. Because that's right. They die hard for. Listen, the man say he got to wear a star on his shirt every day because he a Dallas Cowboy through and through. The person, I'm an eagle. I'm a commander. I'm a lion. You all these things, and never talking about being black.
Right.
Or why did Colin Kaepernick take a knee by himself?
Well, there was another person that took one with him.
It's like, I mean, but I'm just saying, they went on football. Everybody, let's go for the bag, and they just, I call them, multi-million-dollar slaves. And you're right, you've seen them bump into each other. But I think the revolution, if we feel in this sense, we got to reimagine it in a sense. We still, I think, have an over romanticized vision. I think we live in an age of technology, AI. I wouldn't really go to sleep on the idea that, you know, not all is lost, but that idea of revolution being the way it was, you know, in the 60s. I think we have new tools and we have new weapons, and I think that we have to really look at and examine the total landscape and really see that we are in a unique space where there's a unique opportunity for some meaningful things to happen to shift, I think, the mindset, because that's where you know, we really are in and I hate to say it like this, but it really is a hearts and minds campaign. And I'm not talking about everybody, you know, because we know the revolution that was this country is supposed to be when what was 11% of the people. It wasn't all the people coming out saying, you know, a taxation without representation. It was some people got together, was smart, and said, "Hey, we tired of paying the British for these for the tea, for the beverage." So it just takes, I think, better organization with a variety of different people willing to do a variety of different things, and reshape what organization look like and structure it in such a way where it's difficult to attack. I think, you know, we have this, what do you call it, vertical a kind of a movement mentality still, that we have to go horizontally, where, you know, everybody is, you know, got pretty much similar information, and people work with their magic in the spaces where they are. I'm a communicator. I'm in communications. People need to be doing other things in a space of communications that attract hearts and minds. I remember when Ron and I started this. Ron, man, we would get 24, 25 people. And some of them be my family members, right? And now we in the thousands, right? People might laugh at that number and say, yeah, we got hundreds of thousands of people. Y'all just got like 5,000 or 6,000 people, but they're real people. You see what I'm saying? So I think how things grow organically, especially when you don't have that kind of money, that, what do you call it, that dark money and other things that control our movements, because that's what really is going on. Is a lot of these people, they sell us out, you know, they get their movements and they prop them in front of us. And I've been in streets where, you know, a certain protest, and all of a sudden it goes from, you know, Black Power to, we went from Black Power to Black Lives Don't Matter. I mean, you know what I'm just saying? It's just like we say, we go to these like weaker and softer, you know, kind of, and it's because other people have put money in the movement in such a way that they control the direction. And we know this now, right? So now that we know this, right, we have to design or reverse engineer some of the things that we are totally aware of. Brother Pete, I see your hand up. I'll land my plane.
Yeah, just wanted to speak to what you was just saying. One of the things that we definitely need to do is, y'all have heard me say this before, we are not going to succeed until we've got 2 or 3 things in place. First thing is an agenda. The second is a code of conduct. The third is a constitution of behavior. We don't have none of that, okay? Everybody wants to be the NHIC, and nobody wants to say, okay, let's follow this idea. Let's put this in play. Next idea, let's put that in play. Next idea, okay? You know, governments and ideologies are not put together overnight, never, okay? And we have that belief that we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and everything is going to be hunky-dory when it's not. We have to sit down at the table and come up with those things. If you ask the average Black person, what is our agenda? He wouldn't even know what you was talking about. What are you talking about, an agenda? What agenda?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think, I mean, you know, you've done a lot of work has been done. I don't think necessarily, Bro Pete, we have to reinvent the wheel. I think the work of the Black Panther Party, 10-point, we have some scholars who have laid down some very, very important foundations for us. But like I said, we don't have to reinvent. Like I said, there are a lot of thought leaders and the scholarship to get us there. There is various agendas, right? But I think the way that we organize, right, and we have to, like I said, reimagine, you know, organizing for not the 26th century to push back on a lot of these assaults and attacks in a way that we know that they happen because we've articulated it here on this program, right? So we know.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Get the wheel to start moving.
There you go.
I mean, a wheel is no good to you if it's
You
not
said it
moving.
better. You said it better than I did. You're absolutely right. Like I said, we don't have there are agendas. There are things that we all want. Like everyone, I think most of us are on the same page. If I said reparations, hands would go up. We need a something to stop these attacks and assault on black people. We need to be free from harm, just like any other group. There's Asian hate bills. There's hate bills for all kinds of other people and women, and nothing for black people when we get lynched like this. So I think blackness is something that is absolutely inside of you, and you we are all, when you understand what's going on, you can't help but to be in sync with like I just met this, a lot of stuff she's saying I'm in sync with, right? So we don't necessarily have to have that kind of meeting. We can have an elevated conversation on how we actually articulate to the masses of people who want to listen and want to hear, because we know a lot of us are distracted. And how do we once again make revolution sexy again? Make it that those images was powerful. I remember posters and things. It was important. Matter of fact, you wasn't a man if you didn't stand up and fight for your woman. And now you see this men attacking women is kind of ass backwards now. And I think we have to once again think about this in terms of how do we reach the hearts and minds. I'm gonna go back to Bigfoot, or the sister. You always got priority. Go ahead.
Black Power, yes. So at what we're saying and everything that we're saying, when it comes down to it, at this juncture, it's 1,000 million% on our watch. So whatever it is that needs to be done, we are going to be the ones to do it. Period, point blank. And we forget. And what we have not done, and what we tend to not do, is realize it's a lot of people who don't know what we know. And sometimes when we in this quote unquote conscious community, it becomes sort of like almost like a secret society, And so we have to be more vocal, more boisterous, just like this program. It's already happening. Brother Pete mentioned something earlier about people need to bust into Cleveland. Well, the people in Cleveland need to stand up. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes resources to move people in and out. This about to be our third round in the Mississippi, but coming from different parts. It takes thousands of dollars to move troops. We have to have an economic vehicle to do that. We put together our resources. We went on a Willie D show a couple of weeks ago and got some cash apps came in. Soon we start getting cash apps. Guess what Cash App did? They put a flag on our account saying this could be a scam. No scam. It's because people start sending $5, $10, $20. And even our website, we pay for the website. Mm-hmm. We have the PayPal account. They start sending out kind of flags to that. Mm-hmm. The family put up a GoFund, and the mother put up a GoFund. They slowed up her getting her resources because we keep using these other people's vehicles to get what we got to get. So we have to come up with. You're correct. I went to in Baltimore several years ago the African diaspora meeting, and they were talking about certain agenda items that needed to be done. It was like come up with a way to have ways of money exchange, come up with movies to change the imagery of how people saw Africa, come up with think tanks and skills banks where we knew what our skills banks were. Like you said, we have agendas, but we need to come up with something, we stick to it. And it's like we have on our watch, we can do this now. We take so many greats, Dr. Amos Wilson, what's the barber, the blind barber, John Henry Clark. Mm-hmm. Yes. Francis Quest Wilson, the Panther Party. To tell you the truth, I was, if we look at the 10-point platform, that's what these politicians are saying. We want free healthcare, preventative and maintenance. But they'll take a part of what we're saying and take the technology and mix it with the falsehood. Yeah, everybody, we want free healthcare, but they'll come and say affordable healthcare. Mm-hmm. The movement said we want equality. They come and say integration. We say Black Power, stop the killing. They say hands up, don't shoot. We have to stop letting these people come and infiltrate and change the narratives. We need to stick to what we're saying. We want full reparations. We don't just want some reparations bureau. You know what I'm saying?
Or
We
research.
want right. We research. Okay, the research. You know what I'm saying? You'll be researching till the clocks run out.
Conference
You know,
committee.
yeah. These people
Exploring
came up
reparations.
in 1850 or 60 when they wanted to end child slave. They gave them, they said that you get your rolls, you get your logs, you're gonna get reparations. You got this much, you know, we have to come up with a concrete plan and move out on it and to something to where it doesn't matter what your class is, what your status is, and we stick to it and we agree on it. This buffer zone Negro stuff, we have to push them out the way, let them know, look, we're not doing that today. Go on with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it does not even matter. I'm going to give a round number, and y'all can correct me what the actual is. But just say it's 300 elected officials, and it's nationwide. Out of 300, 80 of them might be black. That means we'll never win when the numbers go down. Because 220 going to always outnumber 80 if you're going to use this political process. So that's something that you know what I'm saying? It's like we got our people doing ASS backwards stuff. And we need to change the paradigm. We have enough intelligent people. The people in Philly, the people in New York, people in Houston, people in New Orleans. We, like the brother said, we come up with a plan and everybody stick to it. And if you're against it, we call you out. You're over there on those who are against us. And that's the time that we're living in right now. And we are the ones that are going to project it. Just a few days ago, I had not talked with you guys, but you over there, we on the phone right now. I'm in Houston, y'all in Philly and in DC and Jersey, but we all thinking and feeling the same thing.
That's right.
And we have tools right now to bring it together. You know, let's call a day, a time to follow up action. 30 days from now, we have a follow up whatever, and the Zoom gonna have 1,000 people.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I know Zoom can go up to 10,000, whatever. Let's start using technology, and we need to have footwork. There's nothing, you cannot beat boots on the ground.
Right.
Look at our black communities. I got to say this, in Baton Rouge a few years ago, the white folks decided in this white rich neighborhood, they want to separate from the city of Baton Rouge. And they had a referendum, they got together and they separated. Well, why don't we do the same thing in Black America? Let's take Third Ward and say we don't want to be a part of the city of Houston. Third North, the North Side. Let's start separating by whatever tools we got. And how they did it by a referendum. You know, then I just heard today in Mississippi, they said they got rid of referendum. Now we got to go back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They caught me off guard with that one. You know what I'm saying? But we got to figure out how to do that.
We'll be right back, folks. We got to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and whenever I want to listen to something profound and I'm having a moment, I go to GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and/or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
A word from the official sponsor of Black Empowerment, Power Tools. There's no telling when something's gonna come up, so make sure you carry your power tools at all times. You never know when you're gonna need to bring the hammer down, or when you'll have some trash that needs to be blown away, or some obstacle that requires cutting down. Don't get caught empty-handed. Keep your hammer close by. Keep that leaf blower at the ready. And always carry your steel. Power tools. Because no matter what your day job or side hustle may be, there's no excuse for not being ready to put in some work.
African Americans have a unique history in this country. There's a legacy of brutal enslavement, economic exploitation, state-sanctioned violence, and deliberate attempts to divide an already fractured people. Bobby Seale said, "The best way to fight racism and oppression is with solidarity." Dr. Ron Christopher Osborne Williams and filmmaker Tylon U. Savior Washington has created a unique online experience where African Americans are not only welcome, but preferred. A space where the only thing that matters is your blackness. Welcome to the Colored Only Café. With Dashawn Farad giving us our world news, Bro Pete, the Empress Lydia Percy, Sonny B. Sutherland Sr., and you, the black community. Welcome to the Colored Only Café, where the conversation is always hot, black, and strong.
Man, I'm telling you, time really flies on the Colored Only Cafe. Y'all won't believe this is the final half hour. We didn't get to the D'Angelo story. I know that Sister Io was expected to join us too to talk about holidays, but I guess she'll join us next week to do so. I want to just remind everybody that, you know, and to keep in our hearts and our mind that we are all Trey Reed. What happened to him could happen to us. It could happen to our sons, our mothers, our sisters. I mean, you know, the level of brutality that we are seeing here, and just to see that sister get pummeled like that, and then to see this, you know, I mean, you know, you can't help but when you see that and just be reminded of the state that we're in. And you know, when I see this and you see these white newscasters saying something else other than what you're seeing, you know, that's the mind game. That's the game that they play in terms of trying to control the narrative and tell you, don't believe your lying eyes. Your eyes are lying to you. When you see, you know, romance, just like I said, pummel, you know, a female. It's like, and you see people with cameras. It's like nobody's around. They're like, bum rush this dude. It's just insane. It's like, it just lets you know that we live in an insane upside down world. Like, I mean, the cats are chasing dogs. The grandma's on the ceiling. It's just insane. The level of, you know, I think apathy or just people come, you know, I'm telling you, back in the day, there wouldn't, if people saw that, it wouldn't be a business standing right now. It'd just be riots, it'd be everything. There'd be uprisings, you know, legitimate responses to oppression. And now I think we're some of the most comfortable, oppressed people in the world. Anyway, we had Bigfoot before, and also there's Krystal. Can you tell us a little bit more about Stand Up for Trey Reed, the demonstration at University?
Yes, this demonstration is this Saturday at 12 noon in Cleveland, Mississippi at the Delta State University College. So that's where we're going to galvanize and bring forth the community to stand up. Of course, we are calling for those who are responsible for Trey's lynching and murder to be arrested and held accountable. In addition, those who are part of the cover-up to be held accountable and brought to justice. So this is not by shot going to be a fly-by-night situation. This is a start. This is a start in our fight for justice for Trey Reed and all the victims of lynchings in Mississippi. So yes, that's the details. If folks want to get more information, if you're in the Cleveland or in the surrounding area, Memphis, New Orleans, Jackson, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, come on down to Jackson State University. I'm sorry, Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi on Saturday at noon. You can reach us to get more information at nbpp.org. N is in new, B is in black, P is in Panther, P is in party.org to get more information. But we'll be boots on the ground this Saturday. And yes, I would love to come back to do a follow-up on this subject and on our protracted organizing towards justice and liberation, period, on your show, and to build with you brothers and sisters that are like mind for this battle that we're in. I would want to quickly mention, we have troops in Memphis, we have troops in Chicago. It's only a matter of days of time before we'll be having troops in Philly, Houston, and everywhere else. They started in LA. So this administration is already positioned itself for martial, whatever law, whatever they're trying to do. And we have to be prepared and vigilant. And no matter what, remember, they don't have enough police. They don't have enough military. But when the people really wake up, we outnumber them. So they're going to be the ones that are going to lose in the end. But we need to be forward thinking. Black power.
Black laws for black people. And don't forget the dress code is black. Make sure you show up in all black there. Go ahead, Brother Pete.
No, I just wanted to elaborate on something that you said, or the sister said, when they draw the narrative, okay? And Mississippi is known as the cradle of slavery. And how it's known is that we sit back and we say that Juneteenth is supposed to be the day that slavery ended. That's not true. Slavery didn't end Juneteenth. I think that, what was that, 1870, 1866 or 1865? It didn't end there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it didn't end there. It ended 100 years later in the state of Mississippi, 1965. Chattel slavery was still going on in the state of Mississippi.
You're right.
And some would argue it's still going on today. The new form, the more sophisticated form. They don't beat you to go to work. You go to work voluntarily. You work 9 to 5, bumps in your hip. I know what you're talking about, chattel slavery. But I just wanted to kind of mention after that, Brother Pete, that, we're still modern day slaves. And I'm saying, we have to also support. This is so crucial. And I want to bring up the fact that one of the challenges that my good dear brother Deshaun Farad had being on even on the program today, and he's the consummate journalist. He's always about the people's business, and he funds his stuff out of pocket. I think that it's important that when we talk about supporting revolution, and there are people on the ground that are not embedded with the mainstream what do you call it, media and getting these stories out, and what Krystal is doing in the organization, they need funding. And we got a lot of money, and we spending money on things that's insignificant, unimportant. And the people that are out here doing the work, even if you say to yourself in an honest moment, say, I'm not going to be doing what they doing, but I support them. If you support them, hand us the bullets. Hand us the money, hand us the resources so that we can continue to deliver the information and we can free the minds, because that's the critical part. They got us in a trauma trance in our minds. We kind of like distracted and all. So if you understand some basic fundamental things, you have to understand that what the sister is doing, what Deshaun Farad is doing, what the GoPro Radio is doing, what Dr. Ron is doing, all these things, we need the support, because we don't get any of that bribery money. I call that they call it, dark money, but I call it blood money. They don't get that blood money, that money that was used to oppress our people. So, take the resources that you got, and figure out a way. I know Cash App and all the other, they do a lot of bogus stuff, and we have to move away from the whole banking system completely. That's how they monitor. One of the first things that any army does when it wants to destroy another army, they take away their resources. That's the first thing they do. The second thing they do is bomb the communications so that people don't know. They disrupt communication. You ever see, like, when they invade another country, they knock out the financial infrastructure first. The second thing that they do is they knock out their ability to communicate with each other, right? And then they start their disinformation campaign, and then they just start to kind of like, bomb the people out. So, they're doing the same thing. And these tactics, they work because we haven't adapted. So we recognize, okay, these are the tactics that they use. We have to do our own thing. Figure out how to get a bag of money to the Sean Ferrara, a bag of money to Krystal, a bag of money to so-and-so, because they ain't crackheads. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to go out there and buy a car. They people already doing the work when they don't have anything.
$ Black Power dollar. That's our cash app.
There you go.
Black
there you
dollar.
go. Figure it out.
And I'm going to make a second on something. All right. If you can't give up the cash, sisterleftyourhurt.com. I'm gonna encourage you to get in touch with them anyway and give them your intelligence, give them your body, give them your soul. Trust me. In the long run, you'll be glad you did.
That's important. I'm just saying, we spend a lot of money on a lot of foolishness and craziness, and then people out here struggling and trying to figure it out, and they doing the people's work. They doing what you ain't doing. So if you see people doing what you ain't doing, unwilling or whatever, reason why you're doing, figure out a way to get them the resources that they need. Our people need resources. We want people to camp out somewhere. It take buses, it take things, and these people are sacrificing. Everybody almost on this platform got an organization, and they got to go in their pocket. They got to figure out where they're gonna get the pencils for the kids, how they gonna feed the people. Brother Pete feed people almost every week, every weekend, going in his own pocket, figuring it out. So the people are doing things that that you're not doing. If you're not doing it and you got other people that are doing it, support them. You don't know what to do. I tell people all the time to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That's it. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. I got a trunk
full of food I got to take to our kitchen now, okay, so that we can serve Saturday out in the park.
Okay. Okay, Tyler. We got a problem with your narrative that you just pushed. Okay.
Go ahead.
And I don't want to. I'm not here to disagree with you, but you're on the right track. But you're missing some more of the soup crackers plan, right? So you say when they go into a nation, they disrupt their financial shit. They then take down communications, and then they get to getting it, right? But there's something else they do. Okay. They bring a pallet of American dollars, and they drop it in the center of downtown
and let you fight for
it. And that's they indoctrinate the youth in the U.S. dollar. That's how most of these countries are on the U.S. dollar.
Yep.
And then in your statement, you're saying that Black people spend a lot of money and they're not helping out us. This shadow revolutionary, right?
On foolishness, on silliness.
No, wait, hold on now. So let me explain to you what the problem is, and it's no different than in the past. Black people don't have money. Black people get pseudo fake credit. They get Toys R Us monopoly money. They get $400 advancements of what they can do, or they get a stimulus check, but they really don't. They got pick and pay, pick and save bread. You get what I'm saying? They got vouchers. Now, yes, it's some smoothly doobly coconuts that got some bread, but what we're trying to handle would hinder their situation, so they obsolete. Then you have some Black people that's that'll go get some Jordans or something like that. But I mean, shit, if there's roaches in the cereal, I mean, getting some Jordans might help them feel nice in their head. But you got to remember, and this is the only thing that I haven't figured out with the plan or all that situation is because like what people don't understand is that when they did the war on drugs, that wasn't the war on drugs in our neighborhood. That was the war on them people that was making the drugs overseas. And so what they had to do is they had to give them another crop to grow. I'm not going to mention what the crop is, but the main thing that's in everything that you eat and drink is the crop they gave the people that was bringing the dope in to the United States of America by them people that's got 3 letters. You get what I'm saying? So the problem with getting a code of conduct, getting a constitution, or getting the agenda that we're gonna stick to is that we number one have to find a way to subsidize all of the soup crackers propaganda that was making everybody on every level some money. We don't control an industry at all. You
Well,
get what I'm
that's the
saying?
thing. Let me say that because people be getting off the subject and distracted. Because I've been in this movement since I was 19. I'm 53, and I've been
Okay.
in the Black Panther Party since 2002. And the
Uh-huh.
only way we've been able to do what we do has been the twos and fruits from the Black people. We don't take government funding. $20 here,
No,
$30
no.
there. That's no what I'm saying. We have to use what as guerrillas warfare. We have to use the tools at our disposal
Mm-hmm.
because what happens is far too many times we'll have an issue and we'll be talking about police brutality, and then somebody come and say we need black banks. Well, no shit, we
No,
need
no.
black.
We'll need no black banks because they're part of the
Confused
system.
is all I'm saying. I'm just adding to the fact that all of that adds up. I know I'm hearing your build, but let's the twos and fews of the brothers and sisters are how we able to make it. The brothers and sisters say, hey, come sleep over here, or we got $20, we got gas money. That's the way we've been making it. Now we do need to elevate. You're right, but let's not discount the work of the working class. That's the only way we've been making it.
Listen,
Because the Negroes ain't gonna give us a penny.
And
I'm not this. I'm
Bigfoot,
not, wait, wait.
Bigfoot. Before you go, before you finish, I need to let you know we do own and we just don't run and operate it, but we do own the #1 industry in the world. We
What's
just
that
need
about?
to realize our labor.
Well, okay, let me say this to you. If you go look up all the black billionaires in the United States of America, it's in labor. That same temp industry stuff, right? And I'm not discounting what y'all doing at the Black Panther situation, but when you start saying, hey, we finna build a community, right? You gotta get all them families to move where they at. People ain't leaving Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Even though they stay in a bad situation in certain areas of Chicago, if you tell them, hey, come on down here to Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, or whatever, and you say, hey, I got an acre of land. If they don't know how to work that land, if we ain't got nowhere to sell them groceries, get it to the people, they ain't got nothing. You get what I'm saying?
But
But
we not
now,
saying that. We saying you
No,
can
look at what
separate
they're
your
doing.
neighborhood from the way you at right now. If you in
Look at what they're
Philly,
doing in
South
South
Philly,
Africa.
you don't have to necessarily do that. If you in those who want to go to the national territory, come to the national territory. But the new African territory is any city that you standing in. So we can take and organize ourselves. Say South Philly. I'm just using Philly for example because I guess the brother is out my brain. South Philly. I don't know if that's majority black. South Philly want to separate from the municipality. You know what I'm saying? We want to separate. We want our own. We want these resources. I went to a meeting. It blew my mind about 2 years ago at the Harris County Commissioner Court. And these people had the Commissioner Court ran by 5 people. Over 2 million controlling the money of 2 million people. And they was in this court which they meet once a month. They was pushing $2 billion in 1 month. I did the math. I said 2 billion 1 month. That means they pushing $24 billion a year. 5 people. Now, we say we take Houston, say it's got 20. I like to use round numbers. 20 neighborhoods. Out of them 20 neighborhoods, 15 of them black. What do we say? Nah, we don't want to be a part of the city of Houston. Those dollars are ours. We're gonna separate. We're gonna call this South Park. We renaming it Africa Town. This is the stuff we need to start doing. In the cities where
I
we
got a question.
standing,
I got a question for you.
separate. This is something we need to start thinking on. Yes, sir, brother.
I got a question for you. Okay. When you say a part of Houston and Third Ward is going to separate from Houston, that means are they going are they gonna rent the sewage and water from the
Me,
Houston?
yeah, whatever. Look, who runs the?
So
I know
so
for a
that means
fact.
that
Yeah,
that means
listen.
them
No, I didn't
crackers
say that.
now.
I did not
That
say that. I did not say that. We
okay,
control them. We control
where
it.
you get our water from?
We would get the water from the system that's in place.
That
Look,
that
we
that
can
means
break.
soup
We gonna have to
crackers.
look. I can't give you all the answers. We have to sit down to the drawing board and break it down because I do know, and I somebody who worked did benefits as an independent insurance person. I do know for a fact that the majority of people that's working public works is black and
Yep.
brown. I do know for a fact that the majority of people that's working the garbage places is black. I do know
Yep.
for a fact that when you go to the airport, the people that you're working into is black. The courts, we are already infiltrated everything. See,
Let
the
me let me
problem
let
is
me
our
let me
minds
let
is
me,
what's not right. Our
let me
minds
show
is
you how
still
that works.
cracking up. So we come up with a plan. And I like your way you think. We got to come up with what's not going to work, what's the obstacle, and how to overcome it. But we need to come up with unified things that can be done. See, it starts with getting the people to know that these people are not almighty. And that's the
What?
problem. We think they are almighty and we fear them. And really, it's just going to be a matter of time before this stuff is crumbling before our eyes.
Right.
Okay, well, so okay, here's the thing, right? It's 43 million black people in the United States of America, right? Is
Allegedly.
you gotta have enough land you got to have enough land just for the trash. And then you got to talk to to them as kids so they don't buy as much of that bullshit because you ain't gonna be able to get enough land just for the waste, the landfills. So you got to get them to repurpose everything. So all that is indoctrination from childhood to where a person they over here walking around bragging about they sneakerheads and spending all their goddamn money. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of infrastructure that you would still have to rent out from soup crackers that are oppressing
No,
you.
we don't. We do not. No, we do not.
Okay,
No, we do not.
all right.
You know, I got to say
how many
too.
black radio stations we got that's owned by black people right now, Tylon?
We have now 120. We used to have 120. We used to have so much more, but we're losing stations like flies. Now
Like
we down to
crazy.
120. Yeah.
And what type is there programming?
And, no,
Go ahead.
and I got to add to that. Although they are black owned, they might not necessarily be black conscious. Back.
Okay, so they got programming that's designed, and they might be with iHeartRadio or some other type of stuff, so they can get that ad revenue. Correct?
Yep, you're absolutely right about that.
Okay, so again, even saying black radio we gotta cancel all those out because right now we got a GoPro radio and maybe 3 other stations that can actually give an unbiased black agenda.
You know, but there's a lot of
Everybody
people
else
in
is
this space.
Shannon Sharp.
Right.
But what are you saying, brother?
Shannon
Are you,
Sharp.
let me ask you a question. Are you
So
saying
what
don't do that? What are
I'm
you
saying?
saying? What is the solution?
Okay.
Because
Okay, so here you just told me that we got black people in public works, we got black people at airports, we got black people here, but we don't own that shit. We don't own it.
Okay.
So
we
you
don't
have to
we
get people.
can't own it, brother.
You have to
saying
get
what
on
we
the.
don't have. Let's come up with
one at a time. One at a time, because I want to hear this. The sister needs to respond, and then we'll go right back to you, bro, Pete.
Well, what I'm saying is you're saying what we don't have, but what about what we do have? It's like, and everything's not going to be sold out in this moment. We have to do logistics, right? We look at what we have at our disposal, what we can reroute, what we can have on our own, and figure out what we can do. Okay, I do know for a fact, and we can come up with stuff too, because there's a such thing as solar. There's a such thing as how we may want to do our own independent water systems. There's a such thing as what technology, because I know for a fact if in chattel slavery, it says necessity is the mother of invention. If all the necessary inventions that this nation has, that the world has benefit from, came from black people who figured out what we need to do to make it better, that black gene is gonna kick in.
Yeah,
I do know
exactly.
I do know that failure is not an option.
Okay,
I do know
let me
that
give you-
continuing the same way, and I do know that just like whatever we need to sit to the drawing board, and nothing's gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna be no cookie cutter solution. I do know we got to get our brains together, and whatever things that you see as obstacles, we need to be honest and look at them.
Right.
And then the other person that thinking that and see how to overcome those obstacles. And I know we need to look at those things we have as resources we take and use.
Mm-hmm.
Because but to continue another generation, we're not having that.
Right.
We need to put on our watch.
Bigfoot. Oh, hold on. Just a point of order. Just a point of order. We only got 2 minutes left. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give. Fortunately, it depends on how you look at it. I'm gonna give Bigfoot the final word, but before he does that, because after he speak, we're gonna go off. I want to invite everybody back. People, don't forget tomorrow is the I Ain't Having It show. That show is from 10 o'clock to midnight. Sunny B, and don't forget that there's a mixtape show. Go to GoProRadio.com and please $D for Ride to contribute to Deshaun Farad, his fund, to do all of his journalistic work. Don't forget to support folks that are out there. I'm going to put the flyer in the chat. I'm also going to work it on social media, and because it's very, very important that we align ourselves. Even if we know somebody, if you can't make it, you at least share the information and see if you can get one person to show up and to be your representative. Can we do that, people? All right. And this is Stand Up for Trey Reed. It's a demonstration October 18th. Family and friends of the Reed family, and it's going to be at the Delta State University. All right. And now I'm going to go to Bigfoot. Give you the final word, sister. You're always welcome back. Everybody, thank you for being here. I'm sorry I kind of got lost for the time. We got 1 minute.
Okay. Here's the crux of the matter. The only resource that Black people have is their youth. White people trying to control females' vagina since the beginning of time, which means that our labor, which is our youth, is our only resource. Unless we can brainwash them into a Black power revolutionary and a minimalist concept for the enrichment of our race, we are fucked.
And on that note,
y'all go buy stock IFUS.
On that note, folks, keep it right here. And thank you, sister. Thank you all for being here. Let's continue the conversation. As you see, we need each other. We need that kind of pushback. We need critique. We need analysis. We need deep thinkers. That's what's going to make the change. Is the people, the revolution is here. It has to start here first. All right. And until then, I want everybody to stay safe. Keep your head on the swivel, and we'll check out next week. Sorry for the extended play.
Hey, I love y'all.
Love you too, brother. Love you, Black.
Love you, Black brother. Black power.
Black laws for Black people.
Black laws for Black people. Our power to Black people.